everybody. It is Saturday morning, the 20th of August, I believe, and I just came back from my parents' place last night. I spent like a week there, and in the meantime, my place has turned into a gigantic mess, which I will show you later. I'm currently reading two books, the first of which is The Death of Mrs. Westaway. This is just my Kindle, I don't have it physically. It's by Ruth Ware, and it's a buddy read with a friend of mine. The second is The Blacktongue Thief by Christopher, this guy, I can't pronounce his name ever. I started both books yesterday and I am not very far into either of them, but so far I'm enjoying them. We'll talk about them a little bit later. What is the plan for the day though? As I already mentioned, my place is a gigantic mess and in a dire need of cleaning. But before that, I need to go pick up some packages that I ordered. I have a problem with my cats recently. They are getting bigger, they're growing up, and they're getting a little bit rowdy, and they're trying to find more ways to explore new places, basically. So they've been trying to jump on my balcony rail, and because I live a little bit higher, I'm afraid that if they fall, they might hurt themselves. And so I've decided to do something about it, and I bought these cat nets that they sell online, which you can put over your balcony rail to restrict their ability to hurt themselves. So I will have to put that on, but I need to go pick it up first, as well as some books that I got. What a surprise. And so I'm gonna go do that until it's still early morning and I'm still motivated. I'm usually more of a morning person and I do more stuff in the morning. In the afternoon, I get a little bit more lazy. Plus, it's usually reserved for gym, but we'll see if I'm gonna do that today. After we're done with that, we're gonna come back home and we're gonna do some cleaning because, oh my God, it's terrible. And after that, I need to do some work. I have some personal business to take care of. And after that, there's reading. I don't have any other plans. So let's go do that. I'm back from picking up the packages and I've sweated my soul out of my body. It's close to 40 degrees outside and I couldn't be happier to be back home, but it's a gigantic mess, so I gotta start cleaning. And before I do that, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here we have my fan, obviously some boxes on the floor. The cats love to play with them, so we just leave them around sometimes. Here we have other mess, my packages, it's books basically. Here we have the culprits playing with each other. This is a mesh, like a net that we're gonna put on the balcony to make sure that they don't jump out, which they've been trying to do recently for some reason. So here we have, well, you can see for yourself. Nothing is where it's supposed to be. This is my suitcase. I left it last night here because I was very tired when I arrived, and I mean, it doesn't take so long to put back where it's supposed to be, but anyway. Here we have another box just where the cat stuff arrived in. I also got some cat food, which is why it's so big. The cat tunnels obviously are on the floor. This is a pizza box that they love to play with, but I think it's about time we threw it out. This is some cleaning supplies here that I purchased. And so, yeah, anyway, so the rest of the room you can see, it's nothing is where it's supposed to be. We have another pizza box here. We've been doing some cheat days on off of our regular diet, which is why the pizza box is up there. Cat food, boxes, and whatnot. Basically, this is what my living room looks like at the moment. It's not getting any better. So now that you've seen my shame, I think there's nothing left but to clean. so this is the end result for now. Obviously, it's not perfect, and sorry for the background noise, but somebody's doing something outside. But to go back to the topic, I think it makes it a little bit more livable. And I like it. It's, again, it's not perfect. I still have to throw this box out. And here we have a cat. And a lot of other stuff, but at least, you know, the sink, the kitchen is clean. Yeah, we have some boxes here that also need to go. And generally speaking, it's messy, but not as messy as it was before. So now that cleaning is done, we're moving on to personal business that needs to be handled. First, I have some emails that I need to answer, and after that, there's some videos that I need to edit, particularly one that I need to post tonight. Beyond that, there'll be reading time, but first, let's talk about the books that I'm actually reading. I already mentioned The Death of Mrs. Westaway. I'm just going to put it here on screen because why do you care to look at my Kindle? As I mentioned, this is a buddy read. It's a thriller. It's an adult thriller by Ruth Ware. She's a very famous author who I've never read anything from before now. I'm currently something like 15% into it and is already more different than I expected. The book is way more quiet than I initially anticipated it to be. It seems to be handling some sort of familiar relationships, which I don't necessarily mind. It's just different than what I expected. It's a little bit repetitive to begin with. The author seems to be very careful with the steps that she's taking, which again, I don't mind, just didn't expect that. We'll see. I'm planning on finishing it first because, as I already mentioned, it's a buddy read and my friend has already made more progress than I have. So I will focus on that first. And then after that, we'll move to The Blacktongue Thief. This is a fantasy, an adult fantasy / horror, which is an interesting combination. I recently discovered that I do very much enjoy that combination. It follows a thief, obviously based on the title, and I don't know much else about it. I'm only like 5 chapters into it, but I can already tell you that I am very, very interested in this world. I love a good map for a book, and this one has one of the best ones, and the character is very interesting. The world seems to be very thorough, very wide, and very, very interesting. There's some recent history that's already kind of hinted at, and that gets me very, very excited about what's gonna happen. But what won me the most about this book so far is the writing style. It is so comedic, so thoroughly witty. It reminds me very much of Glockta from the First Law trilogy. It sounds like a book written by him somehow. I don't know how to explain it in a different way. And if you read the First Law, you probably can anticipate a little bit what the writing style is. It's beautiful, yet it's funny and witty and gritty. I don't know. It's very, very nice writing style. Matter of fact, I kind of want to just sit and read this, but obviously we have other obligations in life as well. So I will probably switch between the 2 books, but focus mostly on The Death of Mrs. Westaway. I don't know if you have that. Until recently, I was the type of person that I would only read 1 book at a time. And I can remember like 10, 15 years ago, I would be always reading the same book. If I start a series, I would be reading the books of it one after another, like binge reading them, very focused on them. Nowadays, I have discovered that I don't have this much attention, again, depending on the book. For example, when I was reading the Stormlight Archive for the first time, I remember reading Words of Radiance within 2.5 days. This book is 1,300 pages or so. I don't exactly know the page count, but it's gigantic. And I read it within 2.5 days. I barely slept, I barely ate, I barely did anything else. I just wanted to read it. I was so interested, so focused, and I'm not sorry. I enjoyed it immensely, but that is a very rare occurrence. So I have started this new practice recently that I have discovered helps me read more and enjoy reading more, and that is reading multiple books at the same time, but from different genre. That is a little bit of a palate cleanser for me, I guess, that helps me enjoy them somehow. I haven't yet worked out in my head the science around it, but I usually try to pick a fantasy because fantasy obviously is my go-to genre. But if I'm reading a fantasy, I try to pick up thriller or mystery of more contemporary style on the side, and or a classic or a graphic novel or something like that. Different things, different mediums, different genres, so that my brain can have the variety that it seems to require these days in order to keep being interested. So that's it for now. I'm gonna go do my work, and then once I'm done with that, we'll come back and do some reading. Turn off at about midnight, and I wake up early in the morning and I'm feeling good. This time, however, I just tossed and turned all night and didn't sleep very well, but that doesn't mean that the day is gonna be lost. I'm gonna go to the gym. When I come back, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna finish The Death of Mrs. Westaway. This is my goal for the day. And then if I have any strength left, I will read a little bit of the Blacktongue Thief. And this is over. It is Sunday afternoon, late in the afternoon actually. I was able to finish the net. Oh, you can't see very well, I guess, but this is what it looks like. It's not entirely pretty, but it does the job. So I'm gonna go inside because it's super loud outside. Now, I am done with reading for now. I will continue later on, but I managed to finish The Death of Mrs. Westaway. What do I think about it? I have a little bit of a mixed feeling. I gave it 3.5 stars on Goodreads, and I overall enjoyed the experience, but I was left a little bit underwhelmed, to be honest. I expected a little bit more somehow. First of all, the book is very slow, or it's not, I don't know, it just felt very slow while reading it. A lot of repetitiveness, it felt like a lot of navel gazing. There wasn't much meat on the bones of this story, so to speak. Additionally, I managed to guess all of the twists. Now, that's not a bad thing. I guessed them because I expected there to be a lot of twists. And the author has laid them out pretty nicely, so if you expect to find them, you probably will. It was an okay story. I really like the family dynamic element. It felt very, very nice to see them communicate, to see the complicated relationship that they have. So overall, not a bad read. I will continue reading from this author. I'm hoping that I will like her books a little bit more than this one, but I am in no way disappointed. Now, I haven't been able to read any more from the Blacktongue Thief because I was so focused on The Death of Mrs. Westaway, but I will continue doing so probably later tonight. But I think I'm gonna finish the vlog here because I am tired and I'm just looking forward to having a night of doing nothing, and I'll probably go to bed rather early since, again, I didn't manage to sleep very well last night. This is it for now. Soon we will have a new week and new challenges to face, but the weekend is almost over. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog. I'm curious to know what you're reading right now and whether you pick specific books to read on a weekend or whether you have a different schedule for reading them. So let me know. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye. Once upon a time, there was a person who wasn't subscribed to my channel, and then they did, and they lived happily ever after. This could be you.